Morning, guys. Welcome to Shlog number 6. Today is Thursday, and on Thursday mornings we do our live show on YouTube and Facebook called The Gospel of Two Wheels, where we talk about all kinds of two-wheeled motorcycle stuff, from mechanical things to riding to whatever we want to talk about. So yeah, I'm getting ready to do that right now. There's my setup. It's real fancy here. So yeah, we're going to go live like right now. Let's go ahead and do that. Boom. All right. This is what it looks like to be a modern shop owner and trying to keep up with all the tech and the trends, honestly. I love this stuff, though. I actually really enjoy doing all the live stuff and all the video stuff. So thank you guys for watching. Share this with your friends. Let's get the subscribers way up, man. I'm coming after those big channels. Not in a way that, like, in a mean way. I just want to compete because it's fun. And there's plenty for everybody out there. So here we go. Let's go live. Facebook is live. And so is YouTube. Hey, Facebook, how's it going? Shooting the Shlog right now. YouTube, what are you guys up to? Shooting the Shlog right now. Yeah. Right on. I'll talk to you guys later. Great show today. It's a lot of fun for me. I really enjoy that. Time to get to work, though. Today's stuff is going to be kind of fun. Working on a Freeride 250 and putting an Ox hydraulic brake on it, which I haven't ever done. That's cool. And then Mousse's tires. Just tuning the carburetor up a little bit because it's not quite right, and then that'll probably be all we film today, because then there's some like 6-wheelers. See you guys in a bit. Hey, we're at the shop. Now it's time to work on this KTM Freeride 250. Like I mentioned, we're going to do an Ox hydraulic rear brake, which is right there. We got a JD kit we're going to tune it with. We got new pistons for the front caliper because it's a formula caliper, which is honestly a pile of poo in my opinion. I think it's got plastic pistons or something like that anyway. So we're going to put metal pistons in. This customer already put a Brembo rear caliper on, which is good. Get rid of the formula stuff, because honestly the formula stuff is just, it's not very good. And KTM puts it on all their little mini bikes, like 50s, 65s, 85s. And the Freeride, if you didn't know, uses a whole bunch of 85 components. The forks are 85s, from an 85, the shocks from an 85. And yeah, it's just got bigger wheels. So it's kind of a funky motorcycle. And I'll kind of show you some things as we go through it. But I'm going to start by taking the tank and everything out of there. So that we can get this Ox brake routed. We'll start there. And then we're also doing mousses and tires. It's just going to be real quick. I've got in-depth videos on doing all that. I'll put a card up here so you guys can check that out. But yeah, this will be a good one. These are fun. I like working on dirt bikes. The Freeride is the only bike I know that you have to take the air boot off the carburetor to get the tank off. Weird stuff. This is interesting. So there's underneath the tank of a Freeride. It's crazy. Super duper jam packed in here. 2-stroke pipe that's all small and trialsy looking. One thing to know about the Freeride that's interesting is that the cylinder has no power valve. It's more like a trials motor. So the power it makes is very, very torquey and low end only. It's got no over rev compared to a normal modern 250, or even, I mean, an 85 or a 65. Just almost no over rev at all. So it's, like I said, tuned for just torque. It's kind of a neat little motor the way it works. It's just not this is not my thing, but the customer that owns this is got a 300XC also, and then this is his like gnarly bike, like for gnarly rocks and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Now we're going to route that Ox brake down through there and hook that thing up. I'll show you guys how that works. I think it's going to be really cool. So one of the challenges with these left-hand rear brakes is fitting them on the bars, because you've already got switches, clutch, all this stuff. This one seems like it's actually pretty well designed, and it's really narrow, so I think it's going to fit really good right here. Then we got to route the hose down that way. Now we got to figure out how to get this line down through there without hitting the pipe, which is a bit of a thing on this guy. We can kind of go down through there, and then we can zip tie it up to this stuff so it stays away from the pipe. So I'm going to try that. Now we just got to put zip ties and get in place, and then I'll show you guys how we hook it up to the rear brake, because it seems like it's really pretty cool. It actually replaces the whole clevis. So, like, that part comes off, and this takes its place, right? And then so this whole thing moves up and down. We use the brake pedal, but then this piece moves when you pull the lever. Seems pretty sweet. We got the hose routed right, so now we got to put this on. And the first part of this is just reading the instructions, because that's what you should do. You got to take this push rod off the pedal and then set the overall height from the center of that to this the same as this. So we're going to take this off, set that height, and then we can install it. Okay, so I just ran into something interesting that you should know. If you're ever putting a Brembo brake onto something that has formula brakes, so the caliper looks like it mounts up fine. I don't know. I didn't do it. And it looks like that the master cylinder lines up fine. But if you come in here and look, when this was tightened down all the way, which it was, it cocked this whole thing over like this. And you can see there's a little bit of fluid right there because it's probably pushing weird on it and letting it leak. So I've backed this thing out now all the way that far, and now it's straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a spacer that fits in here so that when this is on there, it lines up straight, so it's pushing straight up. Because when this was all the way tightened in, it was binding really bad. And in his notes, he said, adjust rear brake after this. Well, we don't need to adjust the brake, we need to fix it. So that looks pretty straight to me now. So I'm going to measure this distance in here, this gap, and then I'm going to build a spacer to go in there, and probably have to get a longer bolt too. Then we can install this. So I just got super lucky. I was going to build that spacer. I was going to have to find some material, cut it down, or whatever. But I went and looked through my junk pile of stuff, which is like way over there on the shelf, and I found that. And this is a spacer for a battery. Anyway, it's for a battery terminal anyway. So it's exactly the right length, and it's the right size. Ha ha ha! Every now and then a blind squirrel finds a nut. So that's going to work out great. I'll set this height here, and got to get a longer bolt because, anyway, and then bolt it all up. This is going to be sweet. This is actually going to work out really good. Well, it doesn't quite... a little much free play, but again, none of this is actually supposed to be like this, so we're gonna have to hopefully we can make this work, because again, this is a formula pedal and a Brembo master cylinder, and it's not really intended to all match up, but I think we're gonna be able to make it work. So that seems a lot better. It stops the wheel like I want it to. It does its thing. I just don't know about this adjustment, and that's a real personal preference, that height of that pedal. But I'm going to leave it like that for now, and then when he comes to pick it up, we can like get him on there and adjust it and see what we need to do. But I think that's going to be good. So I guess now we ought to check it and see if it works with the lever before we put everything on there. So let's do that. It works! Cool. now, I think I need to finalize everything. We'll put that little boot on there. I'm not going to show you guys that. That's simple. I got the routing pretty good. Check this out. Use the OEM little holder guy here. That's for the clutch hose. So got that. So that's cool. It holds it. I'll have to put something to hold that back in there. But then comes down through here. Got a zip tie there, holding it over. Got a zip tie there, holding it over, and then we'll finish up the cable routing over there. But yeah, I think that's going to work really good. So once I get that done, the next job will be working on the carburetor, because it's sitting right there. It's actually sitting right there. Get it out of the way. Alright, Ox brake is all installed. Check this thing out. Looks good. Got the cable ties on it. Works good with the pedal. Works good with the lever up there. Everything's routed and happy. I like it. Now it's time to work on the carburetor. I'm going to take it apart and see what jetting's in it. It's already got a JD kit, but I don't know what the settings are. And from looking at the carburetor, it looks like it might need to be cleaned. It's kind of dirty. I mean, it's not bad on the inside, but definitely dirty on the outside. That's no big deal. But you see some kind of grime in there. So we'll take it apart, look at it, maybe clean it up, maybe change some jetting, and get this thing running really crisp. Then we got to do the front brake caliper stuff, and then Mousses and tires. This guy he bought it from took lots of notes. Sometimes I worry about that because like they fiddle with it too much, and it's like just do this more. It'll be fine. We'll take it apart and see. Oh, by the way, this is another thing that's off of an 85. It's the carburetor, because the 85 that I just did in the last Shlog that had did the big bore with the 105, exact same carburetor. Okay, so look at that. There's some kind of dirt and grime in there. It's not horrible at all, but definitely needs to be cleaned. Alright, after further inspection and looking into the whole jetting situation, I found there's a lot of different stuff. People are putting holes in the airbox thing and all that stuff. Anyway, I think it was too lean. The bike was really hard to start cold, even with the choke up, even inside the shop, which is chilly, but not that cold. So, and then talking to the customer, he's like, yeah, no, I just really had a hard time cold starting. Took a long time to warm up. So what we did is we went from a 45 pallet up to a 48. So we actually richened it to give it a little more gas on the bottom. And then we richened the main jet up to a 130 from a 120. So I don't know how it's going to run yet. We got a bunch of other stuff we got to do to the bike. But then when we get all done, we'll check the running. Now it's time to take that silly trials tire off of this thing and put a real knobby on it, which I'm excited about. And I know I'm going to get a whole bunch of comments from you guys about trials tires. Bring it. If you got a trials bike, put a trials tire on it. If you don't, put a knobby. That's my opinion. Also got that silly tube out of there. Now we're going to put a Mousse in it and do the same to the front. Quick note, that is the Mousse version of the changer. The Rabiconda is basically the same. This one's a little bit less money. They're all kind of expensive. I've actually never used a Rabiconda brand. I've only ever just used this or an old school stand. This one's good. My guess is the Rabiconda is a little bit better. It seems like this one, as it gets older, it's kind of wearing. You know, Rabiconda might do that too, because you know, most guys that have them don't use them as much as I do. But I like this one. It's less than $300, which is nice. I'll put a link in the description for it if you guys are interested. All right, so I was unpacking the customer stuff. He bought some of his own parts. He had us get some of the parts. Sometimes that frustrates me for sure, but this guy is a really good customer, and he buys a ton of stuff from us and has us do all of his work. And he saved a fair amount of money on the tire from Rocky Mountain, because I can't even. He bought a Tusk Recon, and we do sell them, but he got it for like almost $20 cheaper than I can sell it. So I don't, you know, whatever, that's fine. And I don't make any money on the ones I sell anyway. So that's cool. But here's a little thing. If you're a shop owner or if you're just a normal consumer, you really need to look at, do some more research online about Mousse sizes. So he bought the 110-100 Tusk Recon, this guy right here, and did some looking on the chart and this and that, and maybe it's on Rocky Mountain side, I don't know. But he bought this Mousse. It's the NMS 18285. So it's this softy, and it's too small. The 285, yes, I think it says it's for a 110-118, but if you've done any YouTubing around, you'll know that the Tusk Recon is a really big, high volume 110-118. And that is a tiny Mousse to go in that tire. It's going to be like riding a flat instantly. Also, the soft wears out even faster than like the Platinum. So it gets soft really quick. And actually, I just had a comment on one of our other videos that a customer had put a 305 softy in his Tusk Recon. And while it was pretty good for the first tire, when he went to put it in the next tire, it was too small already. And he was going to go up to the 335, whatever, the next size up for the softy. So anyway, that happens. Fortunately, we have the right size Mousse here, so we're going to get it on there and get him going. But, you know, definitely do your research. Maybe talk to your local shop before you do that, because it just saves you the hassle of having to send it back. All right, time to put this thing on there, flip this bike around, do the front. So now we're replacing the pistons in this caliper because they're plastic. Really? Anyway, so we got to get those out. And just a quick tip for you guys. So I'm going to take this caliper off and I'm going to bleed it and all that. But quick tip for getting pistons out. Sometimes you can just, when you get it off, squeeze this brake and they start to come out. And that is an easy way to at least get them started, right? And then there goes one. So now, obviously, none of the rest of them are going to come out. We're going to have to use air and get them out of there. But that is a super quick way to get them at least started coming out. So now I'm going to take that caliper off and do it the rest of the way. Put new pistons. We've got Nihilo metal pistons for it. Right, so got the caliper apart, got it all nice and clean in the ultrasonic cleaner. Now it's time to put the new pistons in. So these are the old ones that are plastic or some sort of non-metal material. Yeah, they're junk. These are good ones. So these are from Nihilo. I don't sell them. I don't even know if they're on Amazon, but check them out. Nihilo's an awesome company. They make a lot of cool stuff for mini bikes. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in, show you how we do that. So if you look in there, if you don't know anything about calipers, look in there, there's seals. Those seals keep the fluid in, and they also help pull the pistons back. So when you squeeze the brake, the pistons come out, you know, squeeze the rotor, but then they need to go back so that then they can spin freely. And that's what those square seals, they're actually, if you cut them, they're square. So I like to take some grease, same Motor X stuff, just apply it to the piston. And then, here's the thing, the pistons go in with the flat side inside, not like that. So I'm gonna send Zach out on a test ride. I would ride it, but no dice on the hip so far. Zach's gonna ride wheelies everywhere. Those bikes are so funny because it's basically a trials motor, no power valve, no nothing, so it sounds like a trials bike. Like I said, no over rev at all, but yeah, they're pretty cool. Really tight, gnarly stuff. They're low to the ground, so they're good for short people. Yeah, I'm stoked. Got her all dialed in for the guy. Give him a call here and let him know his bike's ready to rock and roll. Right on, guys. There's another day. Thanks for joining me for the Shlog. We got the 250 Freeride all done. The rear brake, quick little note. Rear brake issue. So, as I talked about before, I had to build that little spacer for the rear brake because you put a Brembo master cylinder on, but with the formula brake lever. And anyways, way inboard, so anyway, had to do all that. Well, interesting thing, when you do that, at least the way I did it at first, that bolt that I had to put a longer bolt with the spacer, it was flexing so much that it couldn't apply good brake to the rear brake, and it wouldn't lock up either with the hand or the foot brake. And I couldn't figure it out for a little while. I was like, what is going on? I mean, I bled it, no air, it's perfect. Feels great on the stand, but then it just, you're sitting on it on the pavement and try to lock it up and it wouldn't do it. And I finally put it up and I looked at it, and sure enough, it's flexing just a whole bunch because it's just a little 6mm bolt. And the spacer I had, that little brass thing, just wasn't super strong. So I ended up, take a look at what I did. It's pretty cool. I worked with Chuck from the guy that makes the Ox brake, and we were talking on the phone, spitballing this thing, trying to figure out what to do since it's really not made for it. And what we did, that spacer is a 3/8 washer, and it fits over that heim joint, making it effectively more of a solid surface. Tighten that down, and it works a lot better now. There's still some flex in there. It's still not perfect, so I'm going to have to talk to the customer about, hopefully that's good enough for them, because there's really not much else we can do other than like machining new parts or a new brake lever. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, those are the kind of things we deal with here at little shops. Big shops, a lot of times would just throw their hands up. Well, it doesn't fit, whatever. And that's not all of them. A lot of them are great, but guys I deal with a lot of times are just like, well, if it didn't just bolt up, I'm over it. So, but we work on things. We actually fix stuff. We make things. It's pretty cool. Pretty stoked on the way it turned out. Handbrake works good. Foot brake works good. The jetting worked great, as you saw in the video of Zach rolling by. So I think we're all good to go. Customer's going to be stoked. Got mousses in the tires, so no flats. Got a good knobby up front. M59 up front. Tusk Recon in the back. Pretty stoked. There's the puppy. Say hi, puppy. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me for the Shlog. It really means a lot that you guys watch this stuff. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Let me know what you think below. Also, let me know what other kind of things you want to see. We're just filming everything we do here, so, the next thing will be the next thing. Have a great day. Get out, spread the gospel of two wheels, and please find some time to ride your dirt bikes.